Can you imagine an interview so provocative that the person featured in it demanded its removal? Well, that's exactly what we have today. Eric Schmidt, Google's former CEO, recently gave a groundbreaking interview at Stanford, which has since been removed due to its controversial nature. In this video, we'll break down the key AI updates Schmidt shared, as well as the statements that sparked such heated reaction. Stick around as we dive into both the insights and the controversies. Who is Eric Schmidt? For those unfamiliar with him, let's start with some background. Eric Schmidt isn't just a random tech figure. He's the former CEO who took Google from being another Silicon Valley startup to a global technology leader. After 19 years at the helm, he stepped down in 2020 amidst a swirl of controversy. But today we're focusing on his recent statements and their impact. AI upgrades in 2025.
In the next year, you're going to see very large context windows, agents, and text to action. When they are delivered at scale, it's going to have an impact on the world at a scale that no one understands yet.
Right now, when we make use of LLMs, what do? We ask them a question, we ask them to write an essay or a code for us, or maybe we send them a short paragraph and ask them to summarize it. Right now, this might be the maximum capability of LLMs before they start hallucinating. A context window of any LLM is like a short-term memory. You ask it a question, it stores the context in a window and uses its storage to answer the question. For now, context windows are comparatively small, which is why if you try to send it data too long, the AI might not be able to go through all of it. But according to Schmidt, by the year of 2025, the context windows might become so large that we might even be able to send the LLM, for instance, 20 whole books and all the text, and ask it what the books say. 20 whole books. Imagine an LLM being able to store it all and go through all that text. I have to agree with Eric here. We don't even understand just how big of an impact AI LLMs are going to have on the world. A controversial example. But this conversation about context windows suddenly took quite a controversial, or some might even say unethical turn.
If TikTok is banned, here's what I propose each and every one of you do. Say to your LLM the following. Make me a copy of TikTok, steal all the users, steal all the music, put my preferences in it, produce this program in the next 30 seconds, release it, and in 1 hour, if it's not viral, do something different along the same lines. That's the command.
Now, take a moment to think about exactly what he means. So, necessarily, if you're starting a new business, you can go ahead and steal whatever you want. The user data, the customers, the music, the history. Just go ahead and steal it all. And hey, if you go viral and start making a buck out of it, you'll be able to afford the best lawyers and cover your tracks anyway. And even if you don't go viral, just ask the AI to make fixes and keep trying again. I mean, sure, this is quite a huge thing for LMs to do, but there definitely could have been way better examples to explain the benefits and impact of large context windows, something that didn't seem like a mere image of unethicality. But also, even if we are to say LLMs become capable of this, simply downloading all the music and the secrets of TikTok or any other app isn't really possible. Everything is behind security walls. So unless AI is also being taught to hack the most secure of databases, this isn't a plausible scenario for now. However, right now, even asking AI to create a full stack application isn't possible. Yes, at first, everything thought Devin could do it, but you know how that turned out. So, of course, by next year, if AI agents become capable of creating a full stack application, it's going to be a complete game changer. Google's work culture controversy. But that's not where the controversy of this interview ended. Even more fuel to the fire was added when the interviewer asked him why he thinks Google has lost the initiative to stay a major competitor in the AI game. He further stated that he asked the current CEO, Sundar Pichai, the same question but didn't really get a sharp enough answer. Well, be warned. The answer from Eric has triggered a lot of people around the industry.
In the spirit of full disclosure, Google decided that work-life balance and going home early and working from home was more important than winning.
This statement is mostly getting attacked for the fact that he's in a way glorifying having no work-life balance and investing all your energy in your work and nothing else. And I mean, let's face it, the drive to and from work is not a time where you're productive. Why is it wrong to take out that time and work from home? Of course, everyone has different opinions about remote work. And sure, you're no longer a Google employee, but even then, talking about your ex-company and your successor like this, that too in public, it's quite crude to say the least. He even went on to compare this work culture of Google with other businesses, specifically startups.
And the reason startups work is because the people work like hell. And I'm sorry to be so blunt, but the fact of the matter is if you all leave the university and go found a company, you're not going to let people work from home and only come in 1 day a week if you want to compete against the other startups.
I don't know if I even agree with this, considering so many people these days are considering leaving their 9 to 5 and starting their own business, just so they can work more from the comfort of their home. But anyway, these statements about remote work are actually what got him into so much trouble. As soon as the interview came about, this was everywhere. There were tweets and articles all revolving around this. And some users were even contemplating whether he misses the glory days of his peak. And that's why he's throwing shade on Sundar Pichai like this, because he knows he simply can't perform as well as he did back in Google. But what do you think about Eric's statement and remote work in general? Was the backlash understandable, or do you agree with him? Let's discuss in the comments down below. The new era of AI. Another major thing that he discussed in this interview was how the rise of AI is completely transforming the very nature of how we interact with knowledge. I mean, think of how you interact with LLMs or AI agents. You put in a prompt and you get a response. But we don't know exactly how the answers come to be. Most of us don't even recheck if the answer is right. We just know the AI's data can't be wrong. Many people describe this as a black box, and really that's exactly what it is. Even people that create AI, I don't really understand exactly what's inside and how it always works. The results are just right, so we take the model's word for it. Don't be mistaken. This is not to say that AI doesn't work just because we don't understand it. It is a different form of intelligence, and there's a lot of work being done to try to figure out how AI works behind the scenes. But we really haven't had much success yet. In a way, we just get results that we can't even fully explain, which is completely changing the nature of knowledge for us humans. Schmidt put this in a pretty interesting analogy and compared it to teenagers.
Explain it to us.
The analogy I would offer is to teenagers. If you have a teenager, you know they're human, but you can't quite figure out what they're thinking. But somehow we've managed in society to adapt to the presence of teenagers, right? And they eventually grow out of it. And I'm just serious. So it's probably the case that we're going to have knowledge systems that we cannot fully characterize, but we understand their boundaries, right? We understand the limits of what they can do. And that's probably the best outcome we can get.
According to him, we're moving to a reality where we can't fully characterize AI systems. And the best outcome is that we understand their limitations and boundaries. We understand how to use them to our best benefit. And that is honestly a pretty great way of viewing the future of AI. It may not be the perfect future. It may end up being the death of human creativity. But the way things are going, we may have to accept this reality. This might be a part of his interview that I actually completely agree with. Understanding the exact working of AI truly is not as necessary as understanding its limitations and boundaries is, and the future of AI is going to completely shock us and also excite us. Sure, his interview did bring some remarkable AI insights for us, but it did also involve quite a lot of controversial moments, so it does make sense why he had to get the video taken down. But what do you think about his interview as a whole? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you want to stay in the loop with everything happening in the AI world, make sure to check out our other videos and give this one a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the notification bell if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.